So we published this paper back in 2020, and it's gained an incredible amount of engagement. Essentially, the logic behind this is that we have a model that we want to be able to share with stakeholders. Those stakeholders are not our programmers. They wouldn't be willing to open a console and play around with the code itself. So they might be politicians or clinicians or work for, say, an NGO. Um, and so we want to be able to share this model in a way that's interactive and easy to use. And these might be people that otherwise we would have tried to send a Excel file to them and then potentially had to kind of go through that live with them. And so the idea is here, can we take the model, um, deploy it on a remote server, and then have a user interface, so essentially a website, so that the user can play around with the inputs and understand the effect that those inputs have on outputs. And the key motivation here really is that quite often at the moment we will be writing a single report for a stakeholder, and that report will be submitted. And we saw this during the pandemic. We've seen this in a number of instances where you can often lose people with a single parameter. So it might be the case that we've made some assumption in our model, and the reader of our modeling report gets to that page or looks at the parameters table and says, "I disagree with this," and therefore, essentially, the report goes in the bin. And we do obviously, of course, do one-way sensitivity analyses and all of that kind of thing, but it's much easier to engage people with the model itself when you give them control and say, okay, so what if we change this parameter to this new value, which you believe is better? What does that do to the outputs? And it gives a much more detailed understanding of the model itself. And so we're kind of giving power back to the stakeholders to be able to interrogate the model themselves rather than kind of read the report that we've written. And we found that this can be much more engaging for users.